is Denise Ikea Owusuwa. My final year dissertation was on HIV/AIDS. The reason why I chose HIV/AIDS is because it's a pandemic on its own. Yes, it may not be claiming lives as quickly and as drastically as COVID-19 is, but certainly it is a pandemic. Currently, according to the United Nations, there's 38 million people living with HIV/AIDS, and amongst this category of people, most of them are found in sub-Saharan Africa, of which Ghana is part. So needless to say, it really is a pandemic. So what I sought to look for in this project was to assess the knowledge and attitudes that people of the Wejak-Bawe municipality of the Greater Accra region had about HIV, as well as the attitudes they had towards people who were infected. And with that, I noticed, based on the cross-sectional study that I conducted, that most people knew about HIV. Every single person had heard of the disease. Most of them knew how it came about. I mean, they knew the fact that it could be prevented with the use of condoms. They knew it could come about from mother-to-child transmission through pregnancy, through childbirth, and then through breastfeeding. They knew all this, but I realized it did not really reflect in the attitudes they had towards prevention. Most people admitted to having multiple sexual partners, of which they engaged in unprotected sex with. Apart from that, most people admitted to sharing personal instruments such as shaving sticks with people. So it goes to show that even though people knew about the infection, their attitudes really didn't reflect the urgency of taking preventive measures. And then the last aspect of my study, I sought to find out how people felt about people who had been infected. And it was alarming to know that less than half of the respondents, at least less than 50% in each of the cases, were willing to live with someone who had HIV or even buy from a market vendor who had HIV. And that's very alarming because it goes to show that even though people know about HIV, they don't really understand how it's transmitted. For instance, if they knew how it was transmitted, you wouldn't be scared to eat food prepared by someone who has HIV because you would know that by swallowing food prepared by somebody who has the disease, there's no way you can get the infection. So this goes to show that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The recommendation that I had was to mobilize the mainstream media to go on an aggressive campaign to just publicize more about HIV, just with the same veracity that COVID-19 is publicized about. There's a lot of work to be done. People are being infected on a daily basis. People are living very risky lives because they just cannot be bothered. And I think it's very, very alarming. So I just entreat the mainstream media, whoever sees this video, to just make it personal to you, because you don't know who has been infected and you don't know how you could possibly get the infection based on someone's risky lifestyle. So that's the main recommendation I have. Thank you.